Well, all right, guys, welcome back. So today's the day we're gonna start digging. I guess the trees were the beginning of the project, but I don't know, I would consider this kind of day one, right? Breaking ground. I'll call this day one. So the machinery that he has here, I don't think it's heavy enough to really push those trees over with the root balls intact, so they opted to cut them, stack up the trunks for me behind the shed, and to dig out the root balls. There we go. These guys got all the fun toys. That's actually the model of tractor I was looking at for a future purchase, 3032. I mean, come on, an excavator, that'd be really cool, but I don't think the wife's gonna let that one fly. So he's filling in the hole from that first beech stump. He's compacting it, keeps going over it as he fills it in to pack it down. Alright, here we go. You guys can really get a sense of how deep that elevation change is right there. We've got a wall in the back and a wall on the side right here. So I didn't ever really have a problem with water draining this way. It would kind of come down off this hill and run forward. So he's starting to build me a little bit of a berm up along this side so that if any water does come this way, it just kind of reverts down this way. What I'm thinking I might do is, when all this gravel goes down, he's going to give me a pad about 4 inches thick. And then when I have my slab built up on top of that, it'll give me a little bit of a ledge where I might be able to sneak a drainage pipe alongside of it. Kind of like a French drain pipe, perforated pipe, and then cover that with gravel. So it'll be beneath the grade of the building, or the slab height of the building. So any water that does come down there should get into that drainage pipe and get diverted away from the building. So that's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes, but these guys are doing a pretty good job. The ground is sloped. They've graded it to slope slightly that way downhill, so that, you know, water that does get down here will naturally drain off that way underneath the slab. So, you know, it's kind of a misconception. Everyone thinks you want it to be completely flat. You don't. You want it to have a little bit of a pitch. The stone that gets put on top, that'll be dead level, so we'll have a dead level base to build the slab on, but the ground underneath it should be pitched away a little bit. All right, so it's day 2. They got the pad and the site pretty much leveled. as suspected, they dug out from one side and placed to the other. Right now, what they're doing is they'll be here for about a half a day today. They're going to just kind of leveling and make sure everything's nice and even. The ground itself gets pitched a tiny bit to the low side, and then they're going to start spreading gravel out on top of it. I think I'm going to go about 4 inches thick on the gravel. So let's watch them level out and get the gravel up there. So what he's doing right now is when they built up that side, the far side of the front of the building, or the site, there's kind of a steep drop off. So he's bringing in dirt from the other side, kind of giving me a little bit of a runway. So that post right there is where the corner of the building is. And right at that corner, it drops off probably 4 feet. So before we started building this little runway here, it was just a steep drop. So we're trying to do something to connect the height difference from there to my driveway. All right, so we're in phase 3. This is actually day 3 of grading. So what's going on right now is when they excavated this part of the high side of the hill, they took a lot of that dirt and built up the low side. So I came up with the idea of placing boulders all along the low side of it to kind of retain some of that soil. I mean, if you start getting heavy downpours and rain and all that, we're gonna get some erosion. And having, you know, a good portion, maybe even half of your building and your foundation kind of wash out from underneath the slab, that's not a good thing. So placing a lot of big boulders, packing them in nice and tight along that low side there to hold the soil in. And I think we're gonna go after the fact and maybe get some different plants for ground cover to plant in between the rocks that'll get a nice root system and really tie all that soil together and lock it together good to prevent erosion. Somebody suggested ice plant for that. It's kind of a succulent that grows kind of prolifically. It's hard to kill. It has nice purple flowers on it. If any of you guys have any suggestions for a ground cover that would look good for between the rocks and for this climate here in the south, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you got. what he's doing now is scraping some of the dirt from that side and pulling it forward so that any runoff that we get down this side of the hill is kind of deflected towards the back. All right, guys, phase 3 is complete. Let's take a walk over here and see what the guys got done. Well, as you can see, they've built up a complete wall on the front little corner and along the side of boulders. They've compacted them in as tight as they can. We've got a little pad up here for landscaping. I want to plant something that has bushes that has, you know, kind of a comprehensive root system that might spread out. That'll help with erosion and firming up that ground. Also something that'll look nice. There's a little bit of dirt left along the bottom that I might still want them to place a couple more boulders in just so I don't lose any of that. I'll talk to the guys. I'll be back here again next week for some gravel work. So maybe I'll get them to place just a few more along the bottom here. We are all leveled off. I had our concrete guy stop by just a little while ago, and he put down some plastic because it's going to rain on Thursday before he starts forming up. So he just wanted to protect the gravel that's compacted underneath. He dropped some rebar off. Now I had them build me up this runway, if you will, or ramp that's going to become the driveway into the shop, because when they were done leveling everything, it was just kind of a drop off right here. So I needed some type of transition to my existing driveway. In this area back here, the high corner where they excavated, we're going to have a little retaining wall built. I'm hoping there's enough room for the guys to actually get back there and build one when the building's erected, because the building is going to be going up in approximately 10 days. I just need the concrete to cure. It's going to take at least 7 days for the concrete to cure, so we'll have 10 days before the building goes up. I'm not sure what I want to build a retaining wall out of. It's going to be some kind of block, obviously. I think regular cinder block doesn't really look so nice, although it's going to be kind of covered mostly by the building, so it might not matter so much. But I know they have landscaping retaining blocks that have kind of a texture on the front. They look nicer, but I'm not sure. They're a little bit more expensive. We'll figure it out. So at the back corner, they kind of cleared this little area that's pretty flat. That I might be able to put some gravel and use that for equipment storage, or maybe park my trailers on or something. I'm not sure if I can get them up around here though to put anything there, but at any rate, it's kind of nice to at least have the space to do something with. They also graded this side of the hill so that water will run off around the building and down, slope down towards the ground. But I am left with these two gigantic tree stumps that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. I mean, check these things out, guys. This one right here was the giant white oak. It doesn't really convey on camera so much, but it was rotted out in the center, which, good thing I cut it down. I had no idea that was going on. But that's about, from there, from end to end, I'd say it's about 4 feet easily. And then there's this double beech trunk over here that, I mean, this thing's got to be 3 tons easily. These are pretty big stumps. The guy's machine, they were just too heavy to lift. He was going to cart them off, but he just couldn't lift them up. It started tipping the machine and everything. That's how big they are. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. There's no holes around here I can throw them in, or gullies or ravines or anything, or like roll them into anything. So I think I'm going to have to do the unthinkable and just slowly take the chainsaw and hack away little by little by little at them until I can get them into pieces that I can actually move. Unless I can find someone that's got a big enough machine or excavator that can come over here on the road side of our property, and maybe we'll just push them down and he can lift them up that way. I'm not sure. Guys, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these stumps. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them. Well, guys, that's our build site. We are ready for concrete. Spoke to the guy. Concrete is happening tomorrow, and I will be sure to get all of that on tape for you guys. Thanks for watching with me, guys. Stay tuned for the rest of the build, and I'll catch you on the next one. Be good.